I'm not the type that has many dreams or visions or anything like that. Normally, I can't even remember my dreams. So this is definitely abnormal for me. But I definitely feel that God has given me this to share with you guys, and He's confirmed it in a very amazing way that I'm going to get to in a little bit and explain. But He's also given me a vision. In a lot of ways, it's much more intense, and I'm going to do a separate video on that just so I can explain it all. So be sure to check back in for that. That should be released here soon. But let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get into the dream right now. If you guys are new here, please go ahead and subscribe. For those of you that don't know, this is a YouTube channel that deals with a lot of the more debated, controversial, and neglected topics within Christianity. You can check out my other videos too. I'm sure there's some in there that you guys will find helpful. So for the dream, it all started out with me and my wife. We went over to my parents' house and we were talking to a neighbor there that we always talk to. Now, keep in mind that this neighbor and my family are not saved. We tried to preach the gospel to them several times, and it's just been a flat-out rejection of it. So, but we were over there talking to one of the neighbors, and all of a sudden I heard this rain that was hitting the ground, but it wasn't like typical rain. It sounded like it was sizzling, like water on a stove. It was a beautiful day out. I mean, it's perfectly sunny. But it was these raindrops that sounded like it was hitting a stove, and all of a sudden I felt one hit my head, and it burnt. And right then, like an Amber Alert, everybody's phone starts going off. So everybody's phone was going off, and sure enough, I pull mine out, and all these alerts were popping up with these red dots showing that there was volcano activity, that all these volcanoes around the region were exploding and raining down this magma all over the area. So the first thing we decided to do was to seek shelter and to run inside my parents' house. So we ran inside their house, and what we noticed was that the magma was still coming down, but they live in a 2-story house. It was coming through the ceiling and coming through the 2nd-story floor, coming through everything and still raining down all the way. And so at this point, we're trying to figure out if there's anything else that we can possibly get to cover us. So we're thinking, furniture. We're trying to grab metal objects, metal lids, and trying to hold it over us. And it's not working. Whatever this is, it's going straight through all of it. And it's just burning straight through. And at that point, that's when I realized that there's no way out. I was trying to think if there's any place we can go, anything we can do, and the answer was no. That there was no place to run, there was no place to hide, and it was very scary. So I had this dream immediately before my alarm clock went off. So I thought that was very odd that the dream ended right before the alarm clock went off. But I woke up and I just couldn't get this out of my head. And I read my Bible every morning, so I went downstairs, I opened up the Bible, and I was asking God. I was like, I haven't had dreams like this before, so I was asking Him if this is from You, if You're trying to say something, then just let me know. And so I opened up the Bible and I went straight to a passage talking about Sodom and Gomorrah, and it was talking about sulfur was raining down out of the sky. And I was like, wow, that's just such a huge coincidence. And sure enough, I open it to another part of the Bible, and it's talking about Sodom and Gomorrah again. And I was like, wow, okay. So a third time, I flipped to another part in the Bible, and it's talking about the same thing. So at this point, I'm like, okay, God is definitely trying to show me something, but the type of person that I am, I usually require more confirmations than probably should be. But so I said, okay, one more time, what I'm going to do, because I knew that the story of Sodom and Gomorrah was in Genesis, in the beginning of the Bible. So I was like, okay, I'm going to flip to, I don't know exactly where though, but I'm going to flip to the general area. And if I just so happen to land on the page, then I'll know for sure that you're trying to tell me something. So sure enough, I go all the way back, and my eyes even go straight to it. They go straight to the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. And this just blew my mind. I was trying to figure out, what in the world is God trying to say, and what does this mean? But I think God has given me some verses, and I just wanted to take a look at those really quick. The first one is in Luke 17. It's talking about the days of Lot. And it says, likewise, just as it was in the days of Lot, they were eating and drinking, buying and selling, planting and building. But on the day when Lot went out from Sodom, fire and sulfur rained from heaven and destroyed them all. Now, this is exactly what was going on. It was just like this rain. It was like sulfur was just raining down. And just like that, we were just talking with my parents' neighbor. You know, we were just talking about, I don't even know what, but it was like nothing was going on. People were just living their lives just like in the days of Lot. And then he says, so will it be on the day when the Son of Man is revealed. So just like that, we were just talking and nothing was going on. We were just carrying on about our business, and all of a sudden it just came out of nowhere. And then Jesus says that just like that, that's how it's going to be when he comes. Okay, then there's another part in Revelation 6, and this is right after the sixth seal is broken. And listen to what it says. Just check this out. Then the kings of the earth and the great ones and the generals and the rich and the powerful and everyone, slave and free, hid themselves in the caves and among the rocks of the mountains, calling to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him who is seated on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of their wrath is come, and who can stand? This is exactly how it was in the dream, is there was no place to hide. There was no cover that you could seek. There was no way out of it. In Revelation 6, the generals and the rich and the powerful are begging for mountains to fall on them, to hide them from the wrath of God and from the face of Jesus. Listen, people today have a very cuddly and soft perception of Jesus, but that's not how it's going to be when he returns. And this makes it clear. They're begging for mountains to fall on them, to hide them from the wrath of Jesus. Listen, if you guys don't know Jesus and you're not living for him with everything you got, that day is going to be a horrifying day for you. I'm just saying. It says in Revelation that these people are going to be horrified. They're going to be begging for mountains to fall on them, to hide them from Jesus. And guys, this is the truth. This is the way it's going to be. It's time to wake up. It's time to stop living for yourself. It's time to start living for God and get serious. And it's time to get to know him and make sure that you're in him. That's all I got, guys. Like I said, I'm going to be putting out another video here soon talking about the vision that I had. This one was for non-believers, this dream, but I had a vision that God gave me shortly after talking about believers. And you guys won't want to miss that one. So please stay tuned and check it out. God bless.